If you are asking your mind to read this book, it will search in vain for more details and stories to validate our words. It will use your limited past experience as its only reference for deciding what is true. It will also pause every time you honor its divine nature by reuniting it with its counterpart. In that moment, in that pause, it is in service to you. It waits for you to allow her presence to merge with its identity. When you hesitate or resist your female nature, the mind goes back to serving you with its limited perception, inviting you to download more and more information. In the end though, you are still left feeling unfulfilled, for the limited perception of information can never give you the ecstatic experience of the reunion with your female nature. Bliss passed you by. Your mind is truly devoted, but without the presence of its counterpart, your heart, it becomes confused and disoriented. For, unlike your heart, it does not perceive the bigger picture. Indeed, that is not its divine nature. It is perfect as it is. It gives you, soul, the opportunity to describe in detail the exquisite beauty of the heart of creation. Your dilemma is to stop relying on the mind to give you what only your female nature can embody: unlimited, intuitive, and all-encompassing perspectives. No divisions, no right or wrong, black or white, good or evil. It is all-inclusive in its perception of reality. The majority of humanity is allowing itself to be ruled by its divine male nature. Again, the mind is very loyal and continues to serve you, knowing it hasn't a clue when you ask what the purpose of life is. Its purpose is to dissect, separate, and describe the unfathomable and mysterious nature of its female counterpart. Pick up the phone. The mind is sensing that many of you are beginning to acknowledge its concerns. If you prefer to call this your awakening, indeed that is a beautiful description. In a way, you are simply picking up the phone that has been ringing for a very long time. You say hello and hear a barrage of complaints from your mind asking, pleading, "Where is my beloved? You keep asking me to make your life safe, known, and secure when I don't have a clue." The beloved that your male nature is referring to, of course, is the heart of creation. Your female nature is endowed with a presence that brings a profound clarity to your thoughts. A perception that does not require the use of the mind. This can be very confusing to your human experience, and so we invite you again to put it to the test. Stop your internal dialogue for 10-15 minutes and notice what part of you is now perceiving your life. Where did all the anxiety go? Why do you suddenly feel so ecstatically blissful? As a human being, you will feel the presence of your female nature when you rely on your intuitive abilities to acknowledge her, trusting your feelings to guide you through your life. We know that the state of consciousness that you adapted to has you deny using your feelings as your main preceptor. You learn to rely almost exclusively on logic and reason. And yet, even logic would confirm that your collective reality lacks balance, cooperation, and clarity. Logic cannot confirm that spirit is real. You only ridicule the very nature of your mind with such questions. It can, however, give you a very detailed description of pieces or a slice of her nature. Of course, there can be enormous pleasure in dissecting these slices, but it becomes dysfunctional when you are relying on the describer to take responsibility for the indescribable. Give that responsibility to the indescribable, your female nature, in partnership with your mind, body, and spirit, and watch your personal reality blossom. Many of you are discovering that when you rely on your female nature to answer your questions about life, it leaves you speechless. You develop a sense of knowing that is very difficult to describe, even for the describer. And yet the mind, being most comfortable when it truly is connected to her presence, will joyfully attempt to describe her magnificence. Your divine male nature is at peace with itself by serving its counterpart, the divine female nature, its beloved. This is not a gender-based relationship. You are using your human nature and physical reality as a mirror to reflect back to you the balance within yourself. Being in receivership, we do not ask of any of you to take this at face value. We encourage you to experience it for yourself. Feel the dynamic presence of these divine lovers merging with each other in your physical reality. Why don't we start with your body as an anchor point for this reunion to unfold? What does that ask of you in order to allow such a grand reunion? It asks of you to learn to be in receivership. For your female counterpart will not force her presence upon any of you. She has no agenda. You can pray with all your might till your face turns blue, but if you have not learned the fine art of receiving, you will feel that your prayers have not been answered. Not because they haven't been heard, but because you're asking your mind to be responsible for bringing joy in your life. And how is that going, beloved? Your mind has been pursuing, achieving, pushing, and controlling your life, in service, to help you feel fulfilled. You deny yourself the very experience you desire each and every time you ask your mind to be the driver in your life. It wants to get in the back seat, but its devotion to you soul will not allow it to get back there until it feels her presence in your body. For most of you this will be very challenging for some time. We know how unfulfilled life feels for many of you, and yet, shifting your allegiance to your female nature can feel very vulnerable at first. Let's play with this new relationship and reveal some exciting possibilities that any of you can learn to enjoy. The joy of receiving. We have asked our companion, Robert, to share in our workshops the practice of being in receivership. It simply asks that you spend 30 minutes each day, 3 times a day, being still and imagining that life is loving you. If at first 3 times a day is difficult to arrange, start with once a day. Imagine that at this very moment, all of nature is receiving love from the sun, moon, stars, and galaxies. It freely shares its fulfilled radiance from this relationship with all of you. There are no conditions, nothing to prove. You are qualified just as you are right now. Imagine as you once did as a child, playing with this new idea that love enjoys taking the form of nature, the sun, wind, and rain. Love will not be contained and enjoys sharing itself with anyone that is open to being loved. Now to feel this presence, you as well must love yourself. Morning practice. Let us take this a step further. What are the first thoughts you hear when you start your day? Do they have anything to do with joyfully anticipating your day to come? If not, perhaps all these concerns are simply your mind feeling overly responsible for your life. Can we give it the break it is asking for? Play with some new thoughts just for the fun of it, and see how it changes your day. Now the true delights of your day begin. Every form that you call physical reality is but a description of one aspect of the heart of creation. It is a description of one aspect of her body for you to reflect upon. How many ways can you perceive her presence in your reality? Most of you start your day washing your body. As you jumped out of bed, your feet touched the floor. How did that feel? Did you notice how sensuous the floor feels to your feet? As you brushed your teeth, did you notice that your gums truly relish being brushed? How did that escape your attention? Are we still asking the mind to try and figure it out? You turned on a faucet to bring you water. Did you stop and let yourself truly feel the texture of your metals that you call a faucet, or were you thinking about where you will be later in the day, missing out on another opportunity to feel the presence of your beloved in your life? Standing under the water, play with imagining how water is but another form love takes to share its presence with you. Are you laughing and singing while she cleans your body and refreshes your spirit? How long are you willing to let love, in the form of water, love you? What value are you willing to place on self-love? You end your shower by drying yourself with a towel. You guessed it, did you truly enjoy feeling the towel touch every part of your most sacred temple? Or, were you thinking that it is more important to treat it like a task, being very efficient to prepare yourself for being more productive? How is being productive going, beloved? Some of you return to your bedroom to dress yourself. Here you get to choose colors and textures that will enhance and highlight your day. Dressing yourself is another wonderful opportunity to feel life loving you. How do the colors of your clothes make you feel? Can you sense how your body is more comfortable with certain fabrics? Do you enjoy experimenting with those choices? Let us fast forward to your breakfast. Here again the pleasures of life confront you with a choice. Will you mindfully devour your food, perhaps reading while you eat? Or is there in your food the opportunity to feel the presence of life loving you? For there is nothing you can eat on this planet that did not come from her body. This earth, is yet another form of love that freely offers herself so that you might embrace your own reflection. How would you, yourself, like to be devoured? Respectfully, consciously, and with great appreciation? What is your preference? The start of your day offers countless opportunities to reunite with your female nature by opening yourself to feel the love that is already here to serve you. Many of you have shared that if you embodied this type of awareness you would not be able to continue with your present life. Do you have a preference, beloveds? Do you enjoy feeling alive? Life always says yes by honoring your preference. It faithfully responds to your feelings of lack or abundance. It does not judge. It simply responds to your freedom to choose how it is that you want to experience life. A life that is truly fulfilling will ask of you to be attentive and to not fall asleep at the wheel, letting your mind drive your life for you. This is a very sacred relationship that will demand all of your attention. You have chosen to face the most difficult challenge as a human being. To fall in love with yourself by allowing your feminine nature to support you. Being complacent and passive will not reunite these aspects within you. It will challenge you to love yourself as you have never loved before, for being in receivership is all about self-love. When you learn to receive love, you will discover that these elements are but a mirror of yourself. This brings us back to spirit dividing, perceiving its own reflection and falling in love with itself. That experience continues through each of you. How many ways are you willing to love your own reflection at the start of each day? If joy became your new standard that all of life must serve, what value have you placed on joy in your personal relationships, occupations, and physical vitality? Loving yourself becomes the new, authentic model for an emerging culture that has discovered a solution to a polarized existence. All of this naturally leads us to asking the big question. Do you really want to take victimhood for a ride around the block one more time? Or, are you willing to receive the unlimited expressions that love has to offer in everything that is in your life right now? A self-empowered, sovereign soul takes full responsibility for their experience of life. This lifetime offers a wonderful opportunity to stop hoping and start knowing that you are spirit also. Life can become your love affair with yourself. Can you imagine all the ways that you can transform your mundane activities into the most pleasurable experiences? Can you imagine it? We know you can, beloveds. Self-fulfillment is no longer negotiable when you taste the freedom to be loved by life itself. Archangel Michael.